Sat in a nondescript field in Cheshire is an old radio relic, disused and defunct from today's modern world. The homing beacon that was located on this site just outside the now disused Royal Naval Air Station at Stretton in Cheshire was used as a navigational aid for returning aircraft to the airfield. This small brick building housed direction finding equipment. The concrete roof supports a wooden lattice tower and has an access ladder for maintenance of the YG beacon. The aerial unit, which was fitted to the top of the house body, was a constant width like a box, and the sides were tapered to give the appearance of a truncated triangle. It's not clear if a top was fitted. This was essentially a homing beacon that sent out a different Morse letter every 30-degree sector. The centre of the first sector was oriented true north, and all other sectors followed in a clockwise direction. The YG beacon was a pilot's aid, and whilst he had the YG switched on, intercom and VHF radio communications were overridden so much that he couldn't speak to the ground stations or his crew. The rotating transmitter was complicated, but the receiver was a simple device. All the pilot had was an on-off volume control and a station changing switch to change between about 4 available frequencies. All he had to do was switch on the receiver and turn up the volume. If he was in range of the transmitter on the chosen frequency, he would have heard most, if not all, of the sectors followed by the station initials 3 times. If nothing was heard, then he'd have to try another frequency. When contact was made, he'd turn down the volume to limit the reception to 3 sectors, and the aircraft would be in the middle one. He'd know from the mnemonic order of the sectors and where he was in relation to north, and in turn, the course to steer for home. Due to the narrowing of the sectors as he neared home, or if there were crosswinds, it'd be possible for the pilot to find himself edging into a neighbouring sector, which would require a course adjustment. As the pilot headed towards home, he'd usually turn down the volume to limit the reception to 1 sector. When he was overhead the transmitter, he would briefly get all sectors even with the volume turned very low. And it was as simple as that. Pilots were required to master buzzer Morse at 15 words per minute in order to use the YG beacon. YG was the name given to a radio homing beacon, and YJ was known as a radar homing beacon. This beacon was only operated during aerodrome opening times, which were generally Monday to Friday from 800 hours to 1800 hours, or sunset, whichever was earlier, and on Saturday 800 hours to 1200 hours. However, like the airfield, the beacon has been gone since 1958, but its wooden tower has stood the test of time and hopefully will do for many years to come.